Get your buildables JobbytheHong by October 12th. They got me bricked up. 11 years ago, I uploaded my first full toy review, the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2014. So in a way, I have SH Monster Arts to thank for my very existence. But as the years go by and the prices go up, a competitor came up. And the figures we'll be looking at today are the final blow. Hey, my name is Jobby, and we're doing the Hiya Toys Godzilla double review. Specifically, the Hiya Toys Godzilla Evolved from Godzilla Kong the New Empire, and the Hiya Toys Shimo from the same movie. With the release of these figures, particularly Shimo, I'm pretty sure that I'm done with SH Monster Arts. But I'm far from done with Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co., the sponsors of this video. Tokyo Treat is a fun Japanese subscription snack box that ships worldwide and is filled with rare Kit Kats, Japanese chips, noodles, and more of the latest Japanese treats. Tokyo Treat's theme for October is, of course, Snacktacular Halloween. Check out this special spooky box design. The theme changes month by month, which is also the case for Sakura Co., a monthly Japanese artisan snack box that supports local snack makers, filled with more traditional Japanese snacks like mochi, wagashi, and Japanese tea. Autumn sencha in this case. And you always get one piece of special Japanese tableware. For this month, you get this Neko Furoshiki. Kawaii! Sakura Co.'s theme for October is Nikko's Autumn Splendor, and each box includes a cultural guide booklet that features snack details, allergen information, and fun insights about Japanese culture. So use my code JOBBY to get $5 off your first Tokyo Treat order and $5 off your first Sakura Co. order. Click the link in the description or scan these QR codes to experience Japan from the comfort of your own home. To go along with the Halloween theme, you might be wondering where my costume is. I'm already wearing it. I'm dressed as a fat retard. We're gonna start this Godzilla double review with the big G himself, the Hiya Toys Godzilla Evolved. Keep in mind, this figure was released after the Hiya Toys Shimo, but I'm doing it first because the algorithm doesn't care about Shimo, because I think it was designed before Shimo. Spoilers for Shimo. Take a drink every time I say Shimo. This figure is a bit special. As for this guy, he's more in line with the previous Hiya Toys Godzillas I've reviewed, which is not to say it's bad. Hell, the painting and the sculpting on this figure is amazing. The intricate sculpted detail, the texture, the subtle shading, and dry brushing make this guy feel so realistic and alive, especially when you compare it to its pricier Bandai counterpart, which is also not a bad figure. Check out that double review. It's just that the Hiya Toys version looks way better. That weird seaweed green is replaced by a more movie-accurate greenish gray. Not saying movie accuracy is the end-all be-all of figure quality, but in this case it is. Why would I get a figure of a movie character and not want it to be as movie accurate as possible?
Oh, but Jobby, SH Monster Arts is stylized. It's not supposed to be movie accurate.
What a bizarre defense. And since we're talking about movie accuracy, look at this head. Incredible sculpt. This is the Godzilla that I remember seeing on screen. Even his microscopically tiny eyes are so full of soul. Really precise paintwork here. I just wish that amount of care was applied to the teeth. They're a bit mushy, but not bad at all. Sharper looking than Bandai's attempt. But something that's harder to excuse are the woke spines. Not the worst, they're just kinda flat and dull. Like your mom. And the transition from skin to spine is way too abrupt and harsh. I have to admit, Bandai did a better job here. Making these clear plastic was such a great idea. Hiya Toys should have done the same, which they will. On a separately sold figure I will be buying. But that's about all the SH Monster Arts has over this figure. Everything else, including the feel, is way more solid. The only thing that tends to pop off is the head, and that's only because I overheated it. I still recommend that you heat up the figure a little bit because the joints are tight out of the box. And there's plenty of them, as you'll see right now when we pose him. Ball joint at the head and the base of the neck. Not the best joint structure. Don't worry, they learned. That allows him to look up not that far and down not that far. He can look side to side. Every ball joint can be a swivel, opening mouth. Now that's a roar. Hinge joint at the tongue. Ball joint at the shoulder. Allows some shoulder rotation. Full 360. Arm moves out. That ball joint lets you fake a bicep swivel. Bend at the elbow. Ball joint at the wrist, which you can pop off to replace with a pair of fists. Oh, look at that. A clear difference between alternate hands. Bandai ball joint at the chest, and a clever ball joint at this particular spine. So when you work that ab crunch, you can move that spine to make it look more natural. Same thing goes for when you arch his back or work that side to side. You can pose this spine individually to go along with it. And of course, every ball joint can be. Same goes for here. Ball joint at the hips, a full 360 rotation. He's got an okay spread. Hip ball joint allows you to fake a thigh swivel. Bend at the knee, a very slight calf swivel, 0 out of 10. A ball joint at the ankle, which allows for a barely there pivot. As for the tail, 12 ball jointed segments here, which gives you some natural looking curvy tail poses. Not as much as an SH Monster Arts figure, but at least it stays put together. Poseability here's pretty good, but a bit of a letdown. Again, that's another point towards Bandai. The spines were not the only thing it had over Hiya. Now, I wouldn't be disappointed with this guy's articulation if it was released before their excellent Shimo. Spoilers again. Apparently, the upcoming Heat Ray version will come with an atomic breath part, of course, and it'll feature a redesigned tail joint system and neck joint system. Thank you. This whole structure isn't cutting it. Some people in my Just Playing chat on my second channel, Jobby2, like, comment, subscribe, even say that the Heat Ray version will be slightly bigger, which this figure desperately needs. Why is he a short king? Size comparison time. Here's Figma-matic Economy, Hiya Toys GVK Heat Ray Godzilla, the Magic Square Light of Peace Not Optimus Prime, my previous review, the SH Monster Arts Shimo, and the SH Monster Arts Godzilla Evolved. And even with the various shortcomings of the Hiya Toys version, I still think it's the better figure overall. Better value, that's for sure, but there's a lot of room for improvement. Buildables JobbytheHong, don't forget. That Heat Ray version better take a page from, well, Hiya Toys. And now, chat, with our next figure, we enter a new era for not just Hiya Toys, but for articulated kaiju figures in general. Because the Hiya Toys Shimo blew my dick off, dude. It's actually incredible. Again, links in the description. Jesus, look at that price. Might even be too cheap. Because first of all, the painting and the sculpting on this figure is amazing. She's got this full body paint wash that highlights all of that beautiful texture work, which is in direct contrast to the SH Monster Arts version, which is a nice sculpt betrayed by underdone paint. Looks like a damn play school toy compared to this living, breathing creature. That slight pink tinge of the paint wash makes it look like there's blood flowing underneath the scales. On top of that, you get a lovely pearlescent finish, both on the skin and the crystals, of course. That gorgeous metallic shine, the subtle pink highlights, and the painted on glow effect around the crystals all look better than Bandai's clear plastic spines, though I'd still like to see Hiya's take on clear plastic spines, maybe on an ice beam version? That beautiful shade of blue does not lose its luster anywhere you look, from her nails, her Norwood 10, all the way down to her tail, which is mercifully solid. The Thagomizer does not have annoying ball joints that don't stay put. But before we talk more about ball joints, let's take another look at that head sculpt. Beautiful stuff. Looks virtually identical to the film version. See, I knew that the SH Monster Arts snoot was too long, and these tiny eyeballs, even tinier than Godzilla's, have the cleanest eye paint that I've seen from Hiya Toys. At least at the time I played with her on my Just Playing stream on Jobby2, like, comment, subscribe. It gets even better. The inside of her mouth is lovingly detailed, suspiciously so. The teeth are a little mushy, but still the best that I've seen from Hiya so far. So even with her movie-accurate ugly mug, she is quite the looker. But is she a player? How does the figure handle? Oh, solid. Too solid in some places, so a slight roasting may be required depending on your copy. Please refer to my Just Playing stream on Jobby2, not only to see the roasting process, but also for my first impressions. My opinions have slightly changed since I played with it 5 years ago, but they've only changed for the better. Because you see, the more I roasted her, the more I broke her in. Not actually breaking her, the figure does not feel fragile. The more I found her to be extremely poseable. Ball joint at at the head and the base of the neck, which allows her to look up that far and down that far. Beautiful side to side. Of course, every ball joint can be. Hinge joint at the mouth, hinge joint at the tongue, ball joint at the shoulder, which allows for a full 360 rotation and it does not get stuck. I'm still not over that. Arm moves out, bicep swivel, bend at the elbow, ball joint mid-lower arm, hinge joint swivel at the wrist, and for some strange reason, individually articulated fingers. What? Ball joint at the base of the thumb, and a swivel and hinge joint at each of the fingers. To my knowledge, that's a first for kaiju figures. Ow. Ball joint at the chest and the waist, which allows for a crunch and an arching back. There's even 2 cuts in the sculpt so the spines can slot in, some side to side. Every ball joint can be. Ball joint at the hips, which gives you a high kick. Can't move back that far. She's got a pretty good spread. Hip ball joints lets you swivel the thigh, bend at the knee, ball joint at the ankle, hinge joint at the toes, and a ridiculous pivot. And her tail has 8 ball jointed segments, which allows it to curve really nicely with nothing popping off. Poseability here is amazing. Not to sound dramatic, but this is a new standard when it comes to poseable kaiju figures. At the time I played with it, can you believe it gets better? Still, none of their future releases have individual fingers. She's a quadruped. There's no good reason for this, but you don't need a reason when it's so damn fun. What makes this even more fun is her ice beam accessory. God damn it. Kinda lame there's 0 accessories, but at this price, I can't complain. Just wait for that hypothetical ice beam version. I will buy it. Size comparison time. Here's Modica, Godzilla Prime, Godzilla Evolved, and the SH Monster Art Shimo. Man. Even if the Hiya Toys version wasn't ridiculously cheaper, it's still the superior figure in virtually every way. Switch the prices and I'd still recommend Hiya Toys over SH Monster Arts. I'm not even the biggest Shimo fan, but I'm a huge fan of this figure. Buildables JobbytheHong gone forever October 12th. I'm also a huge fan of Tokyo Treat and Sakurako. Thanks again for sponsoring the video. So now you should see why the Godzilla Evolved was a bit disappointing. Huge step down compared to Shimo. But as I hinted at multiple times, it gets even better. Hiya keeps cooking. If I wasn't done with SH Monster Arts before, oh. What do you want? What could possibly be your argument? I don't like you.
Have you considered killing yourself?
Just buy the damn BBW Snow Bunny.
But Jobby!
Where's the Transformers reviews? They're in my ass. You're getting more Godzilla.